Hey guys, I bet you can guess what I'm reviewing now because, I just wrote it down below, so yeah, it's pretty obvious. Now, there are two reasons why I'm reviewing A Good Day to Die Hard. First of all, I haven't really done that many bad movies on my channel. Like, I've done a few bad movies and one movie that's complete garbage, and that's Speed 2. And I thought I should do more movies that I think are complete garbage. So, but let me just tell you about this movie. When, also, I've been hearing a lot of stuff about this movie because it was released like 3 years ago now. So I was curious 'cause the other Die Hards were great. So I was wondering, is this gonna be actually good? Are the reviews wrong? So I recorded it, I sat down, and I watched it, and then I realized this movie is not as bad as the reviewers say. It's worse! This movie's worse. And that's all I'm going to say about it like that because I can't lose my mind too much like this. So I bet you know what I have to bring out. Oh yeah, they're back! For those of you who don't know, I wore these glasses for my Speed 2 review, and that was all because the glasses just make me go completely insane. I just can't do that without them on, so I put them on, and now I'm going to talk about A Good Day to Die Hard. Now, before I get to reviewing it, let me tell you, it shouldn't be called A Good Day to Die Hard. It should be called A Bad Day for Die Hard. Because, let me just tell you real quick, the first four Die Hards, yes, first four. For those of you who don't like the fourth one, tough luck, I like it. The first four are enjoyable at the very least. And by enjoyable at the very least, I'm talking about Die Hard 2. But if anything, they're a really great franchise, and they stayed consistently enjoyable throughout, and that's something that few franchises can actually do. And this movie completely changed all of that. It just shoved it like right down the toilet or whatever. This movie just got rid of everything Die Hard. There was nothing that reminded me of Die Hard in this movie. Even Bruce Willis didn't remind me of Die Hard. I mean, he says his catchphrase, sort of, in this movie. When I say sort of, I'm saying that when he says the catchphrase, the noise is just so loud that you can hardly hear it. So what does it matter if you can't even hear the catchphrase? Why would you even have it in there? I mean, at least for Die Hard 4, you could kind of understand because it was a loud thing with the gunshots, so you could kind of understand why you couldn't hear it properly. Plus, it was PG-13, and that's not the movie's fault, it's the studio's. So yeah, you can't really blame it for Die Hard 4, but for this you totally can. Just don't have it in there if you can't hear it properly. And as well as that, this movie had like an R rating, which is in America, because I'm not in America, so I don't know that, so I don't really know those ratings too much, but from what I know, this movie had an R rating, which a lot of people were excited about, since they weren't really happy with Die Hard 4, mainly the fans, so they thought that if they could finally get a R-rated Die Hard movie, it would be awesome. This movie is not R-rated. I mean, seriously, there are like maybe 3 F words in the whole movie. 3! It made sense for Die Hard 4 because it wasn't that sort of movie. But if you're gonna have an R rating, use it! It's a Die Hard movie. We want to see all the swearing and stuff. We want to see all the blood and stuff. Oh, that sort of stuff we want to see for this thing. It's what it's meant to be. It's Die Hard. This is not Die Hard. This movie's just so bad. I mean, seriously. Okay, I've been talking about that enough. It's about time I actually talked about the movie. Why is this movie so terrible? Okay, first of all, the dialogue. The dialogue. The dialogue. This dialogue doesn't make any sense. It's unrealistic. It's boring. It's just terrible. And the banter between John McClane and his son is just so annoying and unbelievable that you just don't care about either of them. And like, as soon as they start talking to each other, you don't care about either of them. And possibly before as well. But yeah, and seriously, it made sense for the other Die Hard movies because John McClane just got into these circumstances by accident. And you could say that sort of for this movie, but come on, he goes to a different country where his son has gotten in trouble, so it's kind of harder to believe that. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. And also, the action scenes. Oh, the action scenes. Look, one praise that some people have given this movie is the action scene that involves a truck. I don't really want to spoil it too much just in case there are a few people who do want to see it for how terrible it is. But that truck scene and every action scene out of the tree in the movie, I know some movies don't have a lot of action scenes, but when they're there, they should be exciting. And the other parts of the movie should be good as well. But other than the other parts of this movie, these action scenes are so slow. Sorry, I said that wrong. These action scenes are so slow. And I'm not talking about slow motion. I'm just talking about the way they're paced. It's just so slow. You never feel like it's an action scene because it just feels so slow. And that's partly due to the direction of this movie. John Moore, why would you hire him? I mean, I haven't seen any of his other movies, but from what I've heard, you really shouldn't hire this guy. I mean, come on. He did the Omen remake. Not the original, the remake. Come on, why would you hire John Moore of all people? Of all people. At least the other Die Hard movies had directors who had done some good movies in the past. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, come on. And also the screenwriter, a guy called Skip Woods. Yeah, what else did he write? X-Men Origins Wolverine. And it shows! This movie, it's so cliche. The script goes in so many predictable ways. None of it is surprising. You don't care about any of it. You've seen it 150 times before. It's not even copying Die Hard. It's copying every other movie except for Die Hard. If you're gonna copy a movie, then at least make it part of the same franchise. Star Wars: The Force Awakens did that, and I just didn't mind because of the same franchise. So yeah, that's just so terrible in this movie. The action scenes are over the top, unrealistic, slow, and as for the rest of the movie, boring. I mean, come on. This movie it's the shortest Die Hard movie of them all. About 1 hour and 30 minutes. It feels like 4 hours! This movie goes on for so long, it drags in every single scene. This movie just is so bad. I mean, come on. I never felt excited throughout this entire movie. Not even for a second. Not even for a second! Oh. Yeah, this movie's just so bad. And the villain, there's like a few villains in a way, and none of them are memorable, and you don't care about any of them. And why should you? They're just there for the sake of having a villain. It's like the worst reason to have a villain in a movie, just for the sake of it. John McClane is not John McClane here. He's just Bruce Willis getting a paycheck. That's all he is. This is not John McClane here. And Jai Courtney, he doesn't have a lot of charisma in most movies, and I'm not entirely sure if it's his fault, because he might actually be good in this stuff. It's just he's having a bit of trouble with who to work with and stuff, because he is going to be in the new Suicide Squad, and from the trailers, he looks like he might actually be good in it. So I'm hoping he is, but so far, and at least in this movie, I'm not entirely sure if it's his fault, but in this movie, he has no charisma at all. I mean, Bruce Willis has hardly any in this movie at all, but at least he's Bruce Willis because you know him from other things, so he has, like, the closest thing to charisma you could think of. Like, no, it's like the lowest common denominator charisma. Hardly it at all. But Jai Courtney has nothing because you haven't seen him in anything before, and you just don't care about him at all. And they're just always so annoying. It's some really terrible chemistry between the two. Just sucks so bad. Oh, yeah. And what else? And anything else to talk about? Well, how about the plot? The whole point of having it in Russia in the first place? Like, what's the point in that? Having it in Russia? Russia? I mean, come on. All of the Die Hard movies are set in America. I mean, I know I'm not American, but come on. it makes sense for that because that's the sort of person that John McClane is. He's a cowboy, so he should be in America. And that just adds to the fact that this isn't John McClane. I don't get it now. Why would they even make this kind of movie? This movie sucks so bad. There's nothing redeeming in this movie. The only thing I can think of that's redeeming is that it's not as bad as Speed 2 Cruise Control. Oh yeah, it's not as bad as the worst movie ever made. That's totally a positive. It's not good enough. It is not nearly good enough to be just slightly better than the worst movie of all time. And of course, by slightly better, I mean slightly less terrible. Yeah. And with all that said, not really much more to say because there's like 90 minutes in this whole movie with nothing memorable. I can hardly remember it and I'm not going to watch it again. So, with all that said, I'm going to give this movie, if you didn't guess already, a 0 out of 10! This movie sucks so bad. And one of the biggest reasons why I'm making this video is because I don't want anybody else to watch this movie. I mean, I went into this movie hoping that there might be some good out of it, and I realized that there was none of it. Don't try to watch this movie for the same reason I did. You should understand that this movie is unwatchable in every single way. If you want to watch it for one reason, then watch it. If you didn't like Die Hard 4, watch this movie and you will love Die Hard 4. I liked it, of course, and I kind of like it a bit more now since I've seen A Good Day to Die Hard. So yeah, you should know all that when you watch this movie. Oh, who am I kidding? Don't watch this movie! Watch the reviews, watch the spoilers and all that. Watch them picking apart this movie. Don't watch the actual movie. You'll be bored out of your mind. Nah, this movie is just complete garbage. There's no redeeming factor. I can't think of any reason to watch it. It's not as bad as Speed 2 Cruise Control, in my opinion. But then again, nothing is as bad as Speed 2 Cruise Control. So, what can I say about that, huh? Yeah, this movie's terrible, and if there's any other reason for me to tell you why not to watch this movie, just read the tagline and you won't want to. The tagline is, Yippee-ki-yay, Mother Russia. That's the actual tagline! It's so bad, I mean, come on. People should have guessed from the tagline alone that this movie was gonna suck. They did. They went into the cinemas actually paying money for these seats to watch this movie. If you've seen this movie in cinemas, then I'm hoping that there are some good trailers in there, because otherwise you just wasted a lot of your money, and this movie is like the second or maybe third highest grossing Die Hard movie of all time. Wow. Seriously? I can't believe it now. They're just trying to take money right out of our pockets now. Don't let them. Don't watch this movie. Just do whatever you can to stay away from this movie. Find some way to stop it from existing. If you can do time travel, go back in time and stop it from existing. And while you're there, do the same with Speed 2, because, you know, that movie sucks even more. Just by a bit, of course. So, yeah. With all that said, well, hold on. Let me get the glasses off before I go even more insane. Okay, so, with all that said, then, I'm gonna make some more videos soon, and I hope you like the new, yet another reason, a few reasons why, messing in school is bad, because, I toned myself down a bit for that video, just because I thought it was necessary for that sort of subject matter. But if you like that sort of serious stuff, then I say you like that video. If not, then, well, probably not, because you're just watching this video, and I'm completely mad in this like video and stuff. So I'm gonna try to get some more videos up soon. I hope you check out a shout out that a YouTuber called Johnny Jojo 1 is giving me. I'm gonna do a shout out to him soon, so look out for that. I'm gonna make it special though, because I don't just want to make it a normal shout out like most people would. I want to make it special. So this isn't a shout out, I'm just mentioning it so you could see his shout out. Okay? So, with all that said, as usual, you don't have to go while you got Timo.